Hello everyone and welcome to the latest episode of Let's Talk Blood Cancer, the Patients Podcast, hosted by me, Adam Joyce. We are out on the road for this episode and we've come up to Manchester to have a real good catch up with Tom Hunt. Tom, a former blood cancer patient himself, who was diagnosed at a time in his life when he really should have been making exciting memories and living the absolute dream. Tom, welcome to the sofa. It's great to see you again.
Thank you.
Take us back to you as an 18-year-old.
So just done all my A-levels. Everything was going sweet. I thought I'd smashed it. In the back of my head, I was like, I'm fine. I've done all the work. It's all gone great. So I'd started working all summer. I was working for my dad's friend on a farm, doing like kids parties.
Yeah.
That's been out all night. So it was like 8 hours on the farm, out till 3 a.m, back out into work the next day. But something just wasn't right the whole time. And then all the way through summer, I just had little lumps in my neck, things like that, but you bite it off, don't you?
Yeah.
But other than that, I was just finished playing rugby, so you just don't put it down to anything, you just bat it away like any 18-year-old would.
Well, you said about lumps on your neck, but what else did you feel? Because you said something wasn't right. What does that actually mean?
It was difficult, because I just was feeling more hungover, and more hungover. I'm thinking, well, I've been out every weekend, so I'll probably just need to stop for a bit, but I'll stop when I get over the summer. I've got my A-level results.
Yeah.
So it was just getting more and more tired, feeling like knackered after shifts. Mm-hmm. But then thinking, well, I've been doing like almost manual labour, running around after kids.
Yeah.
And then we were still doing like rugby training through the summer, so I was running around. So it's just everything. You put it down to like life rather than thinking of anything else. But the one thing I do always remember was getting in the shower one day and just watching, being like, what is this? And then just carried on for a few months.
And you went travelling, didn't you? Or you tried to go travelling, is that right?
So the whole summer was aiming to work in a restaurant. So I was trying to work in a bar sort of restaurant, like in Knutsford Way.
Okay.
And I'd just done a shift there before I'd done my first shift, and I was going to go away for 2 weeks with my mates, travelling, just doing some interrailing around Europe. We'd booked it all sorted, hostels and everything. And I remember, this is another thing, I remember working that shift, and I'd been told to go downstairs to grab something, and I came up with it, and I was dying. I could barely breathe. I was like half bent over trying to catch my breath. Necked 2 full pints of full fat Coke, and still just didn't feel any better. Went to bed, went away with the mates, and was like, right, I'll be fine, get away. And it just went really rapidly downhill then. All of a sudden I was in bed for like 18 hours a day in a hostel. Wow. Just couldn't get the energy to get up, didn't want to eat anything.
Where were you at the time?
So we'd flown to Budapest first day, and I'd like managed all right there, got out for a bit, we'd done a big walk. We'd done like a walk for like 10 miles one day, and I managed that. The nurses don't have a clue how I managed that when I got back to the Christie. We'd done there, then Vienna, and then we were in Prague, and Prague's where I really fell off a cliff and just couldn't motivate myself to do anything.
And can you try and describe that tiredness? Because as a former patient myself, I know exactly what you're talking about, but can you put it into words?
I don't even know if you can. I specifically remember it would have been the Saturday morning. I called my mum and I was like, I'm coming home. She's like, what are you on about? I was like, I'm coming home, I can't. She's like, no, you're away with your mates, you've got a week left, enjoy it, you'll feel better in a few days. I was like, no, I'm coming home. I'm knackered. She went, what do you mean? Like, I was like, Mum, I've been in bed for 18 hours. I normally wake up at 6 a.m. and that's me, I'm up for the day. And I was sleeping all the way through. I honestly can't put it into words. You just don't have the energy. I asked my mates to go and get me food from downstairs because I just didn't even feel like I could get myself into the elevator to press the button to go down because I just didn't have it in me.
And otherwise, you were always fitting well?
Completely fine. Never had any issues in my entire life. I think I've been to the GP about 4 times when I was 5 years old, and that was it.
So you brought yourself back?
Yeah.
And what happened then?
So that would have been the Saturday night. Mum picked me up from the airport, looked at me and went, what is going on? Sat at home all day Sunday, I think I had a bowl of chicken soup.
Yeah.
Luckily, one of the lads we were away with, his dad's our GP.
Okay.
So he messaged me on the Sunday night and said, hi, I heard you've come home, you're not feeling great, come in and see me tomorrow. So he's just gave me some antibiotics and said, you'll be fine in a few days, you've probably just been wiped out by something, which is what anyone would do.
It's probably fair, isn't it?
Which is what I'd have done when I've worked on GP in the past. I'd look at patients like that and go, here, you've probably just been wiped out, we'll check you in a week's time. So he booked me in for the Monday after to come and just say hello again. And then Tuesday, we're going to pick my sister up from Guides Brownies.
Is this the Tuesday after the appointment at the GP?
Yeah, so literally the day after I started the antibiotics. So I've gone to pick my sister up, and we bumped into my mum's friend who's a knee surgeon. Again, just probably one of the luckiest things that ever happened to me. And I'm wearing these baggy trackies, and Mum went, oh, do you mind us having a look at his knee? So I'd fallen asleep on a train when I was interrailing and crossed my legs, and it caused myself to bleed into my knee.
Oh, okay.
So I had a massive, massive knee, but it wasn't like a lump, like, oh, it's a cancer lump. It's just a massive, like, blood clot. He just went, what is that?
Yeah.
I've no idea what it is. He said, go and see your GP tomorrow. If you can't, I'll do some bloods for you in the evening at my hospital, so come in and see me by like 2 o'clock. So called Nigel, who's the GP, at 10 in the evening. He answered, and I'm thinking, that's a bit weird. Why would you answer me? Like, I thought he might just leave a voicemail or whatever and see it in the morning. He said, come in tomorrow at 7. So he did the bloods again, did the bloods this time. Said, right, go and do what you need. I'll ring you if there's anything on them.
This was at 7 a.m.
7 a.m. So 7:30. So literally, he'd got into work early, done my blood straight away, so we could get them to the lab. Like, I think he knew something wasn't right. Got a call at 2-3 o'clock. Basically, just that sort of call. I think everyone's had that call where it's like, can you just come back in for a chat? You're like, what do you mean a chat? What does that mean?
Would he give you anything on the phone?
No, he was just like, there's something on your bloods we need to have a chat about.
Did he tell you to bring anyone with you?
I was with my mum.
Okay.
So he said, what are you doing? I was like, oh, me and mum are just picking Alex up from school. So he's like, yeah, drop him off and just come straight here with the two of you. So we get to the GP, sit down. He's like, so you've got glandular fever, but you've also got no blood counts at all. White cells are 0. Hemoglobin was like 50 something. Platelets were 40 something. He thought it might just be glandular fever causing this, which it can do. Yeah. But he obviously said it could be leukemia. And that was really the first time it was mentioned, was that Wednesday afternoon, sort of 4 o'clock-ish. And
at that time, so you were still 18, right?
Yeah.
That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Had you heard of the word leukemia? Did you have any understanding or any knowledge whatsoever about leukemia?
So the only reason I mentioned the lumps in my neck earlier is because the one thing that came up when I Googled it about 2 months earlier was lymphoma and leukemia, to which I went, well, it's not going to be that, is it?
You did what we all did.
Yep.
Which was go on to Google.
Yeah. But otherwise, no. I honestly wouldn't even have a clue what it is.
Yeah. And you wrote it off that it wouldn't be that.
Yeah.
So I'm almost living it with you now, listening to this story. Yeah. So you've gone to the GPs now.
Yeah.
So what's this, 2:30, 3 in the afternoon?
Yeah, 3-4 o'clock or something like that.
He's told you about your blood counts.
Yeah.
It could be glandular fever. It could be leukemia, lymphoma.
Yeah.
What now?
Obviously, I'm thinking, well, I know which one I want it to be.
Of course you do, yeah.
And he just goes, right, I've called Manchester Royal. They've got a side room on A&E. Drive straight up there. Don't go in. Mum goes in, tells them you're outside, and they'll bring you in. I'm thinking, this is all really over the top.
Yeah.
Because my understanding just wasn't there like it would be now, and I get it now why. But at the point, I'm like, I just want to go and play Spider-Man. I've just come home, I feel rubbish. I bought a new game on PlayStation. I just want to go and play that.
Yeah. So you got to the hospital?
Yeah.
Let's talk about what happened then.
So got to the hospital, sat outside for like maybe 2 hours. I'm messaging me mates, they're all away, still going, oh, idiot, why have you gone home? There's nothing wrong with you, get a grip. What are you doing going to hospital? Eventually getting probably like 6:30, 7. It's roasting in this room. And obviously I've got a fever anyway because I've got all the antibiotics. But it's roasting, I'm sweating. They then stop bringing blood in to give me blood, they're giving me fluids. Again, I'm still thinking, this is just an overreaction. I'm fine, there's nothing wrong with me. And then it would have been the next morning, didn't get any sleep because I'm sat in A&E in a side room. I always remember like a group of lads coming in. One of them's jumped off the canal, into the canal down the road in Manchester City Centre, because he was just
So it was rowdy
drunk.
in there?
It was, so rowdy.
Yeah.
Got moved to the acute medical unit. Spent all day Thursday basically just having blood tests, bone marrow biopsies. Me still thinking, God, just let me go home.
Are you still not getting any more of an insight into what might be going on? Is it still this, could be glandular fever, could be leukemia?
They basically said, from what I remember, is we're just going to do a load of tests. We need to figure out what's going on with you. There's something wrong with your blood counts.
So nobody was committing then?
No, not really. They were like, we need to just check everything over. A bit like, which I get, you don't want to scare anyone, because how many times will they get the same situation and it doesn't turn out to be anything, and it will happen loads. So Friday morning, and I always remember this, I sat there, it's like 9 o'clock. I said to Mum, Mum, I feel fine. They give me 2 days of antibiotics. I've had some blood. Can we just go home and they can give us a ring later?
So you felt better because you'd had some blood?
Yeah, I felt loads better.
Yeah.
So I'm like, can we just go home? So when I go home, they can give us a ring if there's anything up. So Mum goes out and she's like, look, he's getting agitated. He wants to get out of it. Can we just go and you give us a ring in like an hour? And the guy goes, just give us 5 minutes. And the next thing, about 20 people walk in the room, at which point I think, something's wrong here.
Yeah. And was it at that point that they gave you a diagnosis?
Yeah. So they told me there and then, they said they know it's leukemia.
Yeah.
They think it's probably acute lymphoblastic.
Okay.
And then kind of the next few hours was a bit of a blur. I don't really remember anything that happened then.
So they were sure it was leukemia,
Yeah.
but perhaps unsure.
So I think they'd done the initial sort of under a microscope check
yeah.
and can go, yeah, it's leukemia. They needed to send it to somewhere else to get it fully analysed to find out what exactly was in it.
So at that point, you knew that leukemia was blood cancer.
I did then.
Yeah.
I did on Friday morning.
Yeah. You said it was a blur, and I respect that. I remember it myself.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can recall about being given that news?
I remember crying for like 20 minutes, and then
Was crying normal for you?
not really.
No.
Nothing really ever upset me. I was a lad who went to an all boys school and played rugby. Like there wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, you got on with it. You didn't cry in front of your mates because like you just had to get on with it and show them you were bigger than that.
So you cried, yeah.
Yeah, and then honestly, within half an hour, they sort of went out and came back in and had another chat with me and gave me all the information, and I just went, well, can we just get started then? Like, what are we waiting for?
Wow. And what was your mum's reaction?
She was great. She obviously had a cry with me, and then we just sat down, went through everything, probably cried again, went through everything again. They came and gave us all the information, and then she rang my dad. He was looking after my brother and sister at home, so he drove in.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was in absolute floods of tears. So I had another cry then. Told my brother, but we couldn't tell my sister because she had her entering school exam for secondary school on Saturday or Sunday.
So what did she think was going on?
She would have been like 11, so she'd have been a bit...
Maybe a little bit naive?
Yeah, she'd been very nice to anyway. She was just told we were in hospital.
Okay.
But that Tom now couldn't go to the City game on Saturday, which I think she thought was weird. So she goes with Dad.
Yeah.
And I think she starts feeling like, this is a bit odd. She does the exam Sunday. She came out of the exam obviously being like, yeah, I did really well. And I'm like, yeah, great. Your brother's got cancer.
Wow.
Which is just like, oh,
wow.
Way to rain on her parade.
Yeah, of course it does.
Yeah.
But you were there, right, let's start, let's go. When you were saying let's get on with it and let's start, did you actually know what journey you were just starting?
No, the only thing they said to me was, it's Friday right now, you're going to get moved to the Christie tomorrow, we're going to start your treatment on Monday.
Yeah.
So my initial instinct was just, well, why are we waiting till Monday?
Yeah.
Like, you hear people have cancer, you don't really know much about it, you know, you think cancer is one thing, it's not, it's millions. I'm like, we'll just start now, what am I waiting for?
But were you thinking let's start now because you were almost impatient, if you like, or was it that you were genuinely concerned about how poorly you were?
I just wanted to get better faster.
Okay.
And I'm like, if I can start 2 days early, that's 2 days I've got back at the end.
I get it.
That's all my thought was.
Yeah, totally.
Probably very naive.
And a massive similarity from both of our journeys. I was 22 at the time when I was diagnosed, and I absolutely am sure that my age helped me, not just because of my physical fitness, but also my naivety as well.
Yeah.
You know, I probably thought that I was a mature adult at 22, but I clearly wasn't. And I think that news now would be very different for me.
Yeah.
What was your experience of being 18, and do you think that helped you?
I think for me, like, I just finished school and all my mates were still around. I still had that, like, we hadn't lost each other at uni yet. We then went on and happened over the next few months.
Yeah.
So I still had so much support. Like, everyone was there. I had so many people coming at MRI, at the Christie. Like, every day there'd be 3 or 4 more people coming in. And it definitely helped. I think it'd be very different now because I've got a much smaller circle. But like you said, like, life's gone on a bit more now. I've got a bit more money in the game, sort of thing. And you don't want it to get pulled away. At 18, it's like, you're still fresh and naive.
And also, you've got a hell of a lot more knowledge now, which we'll come on to in a little while.
Yeah.
Were you aware of the intensity of the treatment that was coming your way?
Not until I got to the Christie.
Okay.
The only thing that gave me an inkling what was going to go on was on the Thursday, they came and went, we're going to do a bone marrow biopsy. And this was me being like, whatever. They're like, do you want gas and air or anything? I was like, no. Just do it.
I went to a boys' school and played rugby.
So they did the bone marrow biopsy and I just lay there and tanked it.
Did you?
Just didn't have a thing. They put a bit of lidocaine and that was it.
Right. So, Tom, there'll be people watching this podcast now that don't really understand what that is. Can you describe the procedure in simple terms?
So you lie on your side. They find a point on your back where your pelvis is like thickest, and they just bury a needle all the way into your hip, and then they yank it out. It is sore.
It's awful, isn't it?
I squeezed my mum's hand so hard, she collapsed. The guy doing it nearly collapsed because he was struggling so much to get it in, and it was so hot in the room.
Yeah.
And then the next time they did it a week later, they said, do you want gas and air? I went, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'll take it this time.
I'm not messing around this time.
So, and what was the explanation then? You knew that was horrible. Were you told what to expect from chemotherapy?
You know what? I don't know what you got, but I got so much information in the space of about 2-3 days, and that's when you start realizing what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
It goes from like, I've not got a cold.
No.
I'm not just a bit unwell here. Like, they're telling you all these statistics and all this and all that, and you're thinking, oh, we're at like Endgame nearly here. If this doesn't work, you're in serious trouble.
Did you want all that info though?
Yeah.
Did you?
I did at that, yeah.
Are you a bit of an information junkie?
Not even that. Do you know what it was? The second they told me on the Friday, I just thought, well, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
It never crossed my mind that I wouldn't be fine. So the information didn't bother me.
Okay.
Because I'm going to be fine.
Yeah. Did you ever ask if you were going to survive?
No, I knew I was going to. And that's genuine. I said, Mum and Dad will back me up on that. I just said I'm going to be fine.
I love that attitude. Positive mental attitude, certainly for me. I know it's a bit of a cliche, but I absolutely had to have that positive mindset.
Yeah.
And I really believe that helped me through. Yeah. Do you sort of feel that your attitude drove you on?
I think it made everything so much easier. You know, we'd sit there in the Christie just laughing our heads off at stuff. We were watching Killing Eve, me and Daddy comes in, he's like, oh, let's put this on, it's really good, it's just come out. So I sat watching it, and there's like a sex scene on the TV. And just as that comes on, the ward round come in.
Oh.
So you got the consultant and all his little minions coming in. Dad's like, trying to pause it, trying to turn the volume
Remote
off.
control's not
You've just
working.
got two like people naked on the TV. I find it hilarious. They're all like...
See, isn't it funny that, I mean, that's just one of probably loads of memories that you've got. I guess I make no apology for my next question, Tom. I want to ask you, that was obviously something funny that happened and something that was light-hearted. What were some of the dark times?
Do you know what? I think I've just completely knocked them out of my brain because I don't... The only bad time I really remember was having a seizure just before my birthday. Mm-hmm. I'd started with a bit of a fever, and you know what they're like. They all panic, so I've gone into the Christie. Turns out I had an ingrown toenail.
Is that what it was?
Giving me a bloody fever and got me in for 2 weeks in the end.
Wow.
So that's how vulnerable you are to everything.
Yeah.
So I got in, and then they've got rid of the infection. They're like, right, we're going to give you your next dose of chemo. You're going to need a blood transfusion. You're actually going to need 2 blood transfusions today. You need potassium, you need magnesium. So they just pumped me full of stuff all day. It had been about midnight. So this had been the 16th, 17th of November, so like 2-3 days before my birthday. I'd said to Mum at 8 o'clock, can you stay tonight? She's like, why? I've never stayed. I don't know, just something just doesn't feel right. Something just felt funny inside me. So Mum gets up to go to the toilet about midnight, like rubs my leg and says, you all right? And I was just sort of turned over in bed. Comes back out from the toilet 2 minutes later, I'm just having a massive seizure on the bed.
Wow. And that was the only night you'd asked her to stay?
The only night I'd ever said I wanted you to stay.
Why did you ask her to stay?
I've no idea. But isn't that really weird?
It's fascinating.
I'd done 4 weeks in at the start and never asked someone to stay. I'd just done the best part of 2 weeks at this point and then I just randomly this night went, will you just stay tonight? I just feel a bit...
And was that your only seizure throughout your treatment?
Only seizure.
My gosh.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's obviously a really...
Weird.
Yeah, and
Just
a really
weird.
memorable time for you. How did you cope with the aggressiveness of your treatment then? So, yes, your mindset was really strong and you knew that you were going to get over it.
Yeah.
That was your mindset. But it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how did you cope with it?
There's another thing I always remember was we done the first 3 days and they always said this is the brutal part. So that was like just throwing up, feeling rubbish, feeling absolutely rotten, like everything in my body hurt, everything. You could feel like my pancreas was hurt, everything. Just can't even explain the pain. Mm-hmm. Got over that and they came to do it the week after. So this had been the second week and I'm like to Mum, like, I can't do it. And she went, you've not got a choice, mate.
Yeah.
Like this isn't something you have a choice about. And I'm like, right. And that really helped me through the whole thing. Just knowing that like there isn't a choice in this. Like obviously you have a choice, but there's not a choice in this.
Yeah.
Like, and that mindset, having that always in my head, just like it's just one day, just one more day. And one of my dad's friends said to me really early on, I think he'd had lymphoma or leukemia a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And he'd come in to see me and just have a chat. And he's just like, just remember, right now it seems like every day's a bad day. In a month's time, you'll have had a few good days. In 2 months' time, you'll have had a few more good days. Yeah. In a year's time, you'll have had loads more good days than bad days.
And I couldn't agree with that anymore. And I don't want to jump too far ahead.
Yeah.
But looking back now, doesn't it just seem like a small blip in your life?
Yeah.
But yet at the time, we were living it, weren't we?
Yeah.
Every hour.
I texted my mum this morning when I've had all that news this morning. I just said, that just seems like a million years away now.
Yeah.
It's so far in the past.
Do you know what? You keep mentioning your mum. You've obviously got a great relationship, and she was awesome, I can tell. But how important was that support network to you at the time? So friends, and not just friends and family, but the nurses, the clinicians, everybody that came together to give you your life back.
For me, it was the thing that really got me through it. You know, Dad struggled a lot with a lot of it. His way of coping was to work and like keep himself busy, and I have no issues with that. Like, I don't blame him at all. Some people are built like that.
Yeah.
Mum had the opportunity to take time off and come and
Okay.
stay at home, let the sort of her job do itself, and people can do a job for her. And she came and took me to most of my appointments, and that's why I'm talk about her a bit more when it's this, because it's often we were at the hospital doing the stupid things, having the bad times.
Yeah.
My mates were class. Like, they'd all started uni. And it kind of worked out in a weird way where they'd gone a night out, they'd wake up at midday to play PlayStation. Well, I'd have got back by the Christie by midday. So just sit on Fortnite with them all evening.
Amazing.
It was wicked. Honestly, that side of things was the best year of my life. I just got to play video games for a year.
We've talked a bit about how you coped with the treatment. Just give us an overview of what your treatment was then. So chemotherapy, what else happened to you?
So it was initially a month of IV chemo where they're really like on it because of risk of early side effects, the risk of things really going wrong is there. What they told me was if you get through that and you're fine, everything will be done as an outpatient. So that was then meant to be about 10 months of outpatient. Because I think they counter in for the fact you're going to get a couple infections. Yeah. You'll have to have a break from the chemo. It might take you a while to rebound. And this is where I always say, I am incredibly fortunate the way I responded to everything, because I never had to have a break apart from once. I finished the entire treatment in 7 months.
Wow. So were you in remission after 7 months?
Yeah.
And hearing that, in fact, you're better placed than I am. What is remission?
It means there's no detectable disease.
Okay. So that news of no detectable disease, how did that sound to you?
It was weird, the first one, because you do that first 10 months, but the way leukemia is treated is you have to still go on tablets for 2.5 years. So even though you're in remission, it's like you're not all clear yet. So it's still there in the back of your head. Like, you feel like, okay, we've beat the first sort of hurdle. Like, the hard part's done, that grim year of you look different, you feel different, everything's really knocking you for six. Yeah. Now it's just getting through the slog of 2 years, 2.5 years of tablets and get that done.
And were you able to sort of return to a sense of normality during that time?
Yeah, I started uni then, did my medical degree, first half of it, could go out with mates, got back in the gym, like everything went back to normal. Yeah. Bar just had to take some tablets every evening before bed.
Were you sort of living on the edge a little bit whenever you got a cold or whenever you might have bruised your knee or anything like that?
First year everything would like make me panic a bit, and then I just stopped caring. Yeah. I just adopted the mindset of like, it is what it is.
That's you though, isn't it?
I'll be all right. It is now, definitely.
Yeah. And you've just said it there. So you started your medical degree. I guess one of the questions that I'm sure everyone watching this is well, was that always your destiny? Was medicine something that always interested you, or did this massive event in your life steer your career path?
Yeah, honestly, you couldn't make it up. I decided when I was like 15 I wanted to do it. And the whole point of me going away doing a holiday with my mates before was that I was going to come back and have a gap year. I'd applied to medicine, got an offer, got accepted, but I deferred the entry for the year after. Okay. Because I just want to have some time out of education. Yeah. I've just slogged through GCSEs and A-levels. And the day I was diagnosed on the 15th of September was the day uni started. So if I hadn't deferred, that would have been the day I would have started a medical degree. Wow. So instead I got a year of work experience in the Christie. Yeah. I started a year later. Okay. Which was always my plan anyway. Yeah. But that was, they were like, you should finish this treatment in a year. And I was like, perfect. Yeah. I've got a year. I have a spare year. This is great timing if it's going to happen at any point.
Yeah. If there's ever a convenient time for this to happen, then
well, this is what we said though, because if it was 2 or 3 months earlier, it'd have got in the way of my A-levels. Yeah. And that would have been a whole show.
Because you needed your A-levels.
Yeah, because if it happened any later, it'd have gone in and I've had to take another year out. Yeah. So where it fell, not that I wanted it to happen, but if it was going to happen, you had to pick a time. Yeah. That was like probably the best time.
I think you're probably the only guest we'll ever have on the Patients Podcast who says that was quite a convenient time for me to be treated for leukemia. Do you think it's changed you? Because we are going to talk about your career and where your career is going to take you. Do you think your experience as a patient makes you a better clinician now than it might have done.
Yeah, 100%. And I think I get that from all the feedback I get. Like every time I speak to someone, whether it be a nurse, one of the healthcare assistants, one of the porters, one of the doctors, they're always like, you actually come and chat to us. Like all your other lot, a lot of them won't speak to us, not because, but they'll just want to speak about work when they're in work. People just talk about work, and I'll go and chat to them about what they're having for Sunday dinner.
Yeah.
They like chicken or beef more.
Yeah.
And I always get that back. And it's the same with the patients. I go in and I get a lot more, I feel like I get a lot more out of them, and I get smiles, I get laughs, and I'm a bit more...
Do you tell people that you were a patient?
Only once.
Right.
And that's because it was very relevant, because I was seeing a kid who, the kid had cancer, and she was getting really, really upset about everything. And she was like, you don't understand. And I just was like, I really don't like bringing it up to patients, because they're already in hard time. They're in hospital. It's not for me to try and be like, well, look at me. I've got this. I've had a similar thing.
Yeah.
But I spoke to her, and I think she really appreciated that.
When she said you don't understand, did you just say, well, actually, I do?
Yeah. She was like, no, you don't. I was like, no, I do.
And what was her response?
She's like, what do you mean? Because I think she would have been like 11. She's like, what are you on about? So I told her, and she's like, no way.
Wow.
You can just see her eyes light up, because I think for her, and this is what someone did to me, like it gives you that sight of like, oh, it is out the other end. And it happened with me when we did the bike ride, and someone told me you'd had lymphoma, and I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like it's nice to see.
It's nice to see that there are others who can share your story, but survivors as well.
Yeah. And people doing well.
Yeah,
That's
you've done better than I have, though.
I don't agree with that.
Just referring back to your family.
Yeah.
So we're talking about how this cancer journey has affected you or changed you or moulded you.
Yeah.
What's it done for your family and friends?
I mean, my mates have just the exact same. It's not changed them. They said, we wouldn't treat you any different. If we knew you had leukemia when we were away, we'd have still called you a loser for going home.
Yeah.
I was like, and they said,
Those
and we
are the
know,
friends you want,
and they
though.
said, and we know if it was the other way around, you'd have done the exact same. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't. I'm not going to complain about that.
Yeah.
I think
About your mum and
family-wise,
dad, yeah.
it definitely chilled us all out a lot. I think it makes you realise that actually it's just not that deep. A lot of things, like you can sit there and you can mull over, you can stress, you can worry, but a lot of us really just pulled away from that. And definitely me and my brother more so.
Yeah.
I think because we spent a lot of time at home, like I said, with mum, and dad would be at work more, we sort of become a lot more like our mum.
Yeah.
And mum's just laid back and doesn't think about anything at all.
It's quality,
It's
though,
just
isn't
dead
it?
easy.
Yeah. And we've spoken about this in the past. You clearly keep yourself in shape. Well, do you have a different relationship with health and fitness since becoming cancer free?
I think one of the things I was using it for initially was to like convince myself I'm fine. Like if I can go and I can lift a heavier weight, or I can run a bit further, or I can run a bit faster, I'm clearly fine.
Yeah.
But that actually wasn't healthy. So I ended up seeing a therapist for about 10 weeks, where she was like, it's great you're doing all this, and it's good you keep yourself in shape, but you're using it as a coping, and if you go and have a bad session, which everyone's entitled to, you then get in like in your head about it and mulling over it, and until you have a better one, you're like, oh, something's wrong.
I'm so grateful that you're sharing that with us. Let me pick that a little bit.
Yeah, go on.
What was your reasoning for going to a therapist?
It just got too much. I was having panic attacks about health anxiety.
About returning back to the start of your journey again, about relapsing?
No,
or
not even, just generally. There was nothing specific. I was always stressed about it. It was always, because I'd had a blood test every month when I was on the meds, so it was like, I just need to get to that, and then they'll tell me I'm fine.
Yeah.
And then for a week I'd be like, oh, I'm fine. And the week after I'd be like, oh, I feel a bit tired now, but I've gone out on the weekend. And the week after I'd be like, oh, maybe and then I'd be like, right, bloods the next week.
Yeah.
And then I'd get that done and it'd be fine. I'd be like, right.
Yeah.
And I just kept going through that cycle, but I think it just got worse and worse and worse. And it was to the point where I was just sat in the kitchen one day just making some food and just couldn't breathe, broke down into tears on the floor, and that was that. I was like, right, I need to speak to someone about this, because this isn't right.
So you recognised it in yourself rather than somebody picking it out?
Dad really pushed me into it more so.
Yeah.
I spoke to him about it, and he was like, you just need to speak to someone. I was like, no, I'm fine. He's like, no, just do it now. If it doesn't do anything, fine.
Yeah.
If it does, you'll be like, why didn't I do it sooner?
Did you have a stigma? Did you think there was a stigma about, a guy seeking support? Because I can tell you now, I'm not one of those people.
Yeah.
As in, I absolutely advocate anyone going to talk to someone.
I wasn't, but I'd already spoke to the Christie about having some. So I was like already open to it, but they were like, oh, there's a wait list. It's a year, whatever. So I was just waiting really? For that. But it just got to that point where I think Dad was like, just do it soon. I was like, no, it's fine. I'll do it with the Christie. I know them.
Was it a good decision?
100%. I think for the first 4 sessions, I just went and it was this lovely lady called Lorraine. We just went and had a chat.
How funny that you still remember her name.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah. She texted me really weirdly the other week. I was just like sat thinking about her, and then she texted me the morning after. It's like, how you doing? I was like, this is really odd.
Yeah, that's weird.
Spoke to Mum about it. Said, oh, I wonder how Lorraine's doing. Yeah. She texted me the next day. But yeah, it was wicked. The first 4 sessions, we just like had a chat, went through everything. And then I kind of felt better in those sessions, but I'd leave and I'd struggle again, and like things would come back. I don't know what she did on session 5, but I walked out and just felt like a new person.
Seriously?
Like this like brain fog of like health anxiety just went and it's never come back.
God, amazing result.
It's just, yeah, incredible.
So a lot to thank her for as well.
Yeah.
You're a lot of years now post your cancer journey, and you know, throughout most of this podcast, you've spoken about it with a smile on your face, which there will be people watching this now who are newly diagnosed, families of people who are just at the start of that journey. You and I are really looking out the other side of it. What would you say to those people who are watching now?
I always go back to what I said earlier, which is no matter what is going on right now, the good days will start to outnumber the bad days, and you've just got to keep looking ahead to that, and you've got to tot up the good ones, and you will get through it, but you've got to be positive and keep pushing on.
And what about a message to yourself? So if you could take yourself back to that day when you went into that side room at the hospital and you were told it might be glandular fever or it might be leukemia, what would you tell yourself now?
I think what the mindset I had then anyway, but I'd just be like, just get your head down. Just suck it up. This isn't anyone's fault. You just got some bad luck. Yeah. And you'll come out the other side.
Nice. So you are now a doctor.
Yes, I am.
So Dr. Hunt, I probably should have introduced you like that. Where are you currently in your career then?
I'm in my second year post-university, so second year of training.
All right. So you'll have to excuse my ignorance about what that means then. So you're in hospitals practicing?
Yeah, so I've done 5 years of uni at Manchester, which is all the sort of preclinical stuff with a bit of placement. Passed my degree, got that all done, and then you do 2 years foundation training. So you're based in hospital. You do 6 4-month rotations over 2 years. So I've done psychiatry, general medicine, vascular surgery, GP, A&E, and I'm on acute medicine. Wow. Which is the last one.
So having leukemia hasn't slowed your progress, has it?
No, not yet. I'm cutting it close at the moment, though. I'm running a bit on fumes.
Oh, yeah. Have you been working?
Working, doing far too much running and gymming.
Oh, okay.
It's catching up with me.
Yeah. But not for the reasons that you said you were running and lifting heavy weights for before.
No. So that's for better reasons.
So what's for you then? So you are going to carry on working and doing the best that you can? What's next in the life of Dr. Tom Hunt?
I absolutely love it. And in an ideal world, I'd have gone into training this year, but I don't actually know what I want to do yet. I thought maybe earlier I wanted to do GP. Didn't enjoy it. Okay. I know some people love GP. I just couldn't get on with it. I found it a bit isolated and a bit lonely. Really enjoyed my surgery placement, so I'm hoping to try and get a year's job of surgery, and then I've really enjoyed my A&E placement. So I'm thinking I'll do another year of A&E and decide from there which one I want to train in long term.
Nice one. Well, listen, Tom, it's been absolutely awesome catching up with you again. Having you as a guest on the sofa is inspiring, hopefully for those people watching as well who think and probably are in a really dark place at the moment, but they'll see you and know that, you know, anything is possible and they'll come out of the other side of it. Tom, it's been great having you on the sofa. Thanks for joining us. And thanks to everyone who has been watching this episode of Let's Talk Blood Cancer, the Patients Podcast.